helmets. We'll tell you more on that later. Great story there about how they took it from Michigan, but we are underway. Weekday Conference USA. Middle Tennessee lets you go for a touchback, and we get our first look at this Blue Raiders offense. Nick Vattiato, the fifth-year senior quarterback. He's been of an endangered species in college football. Rocky stayed with the same program for 5 years through a coaching change, and coaches told us if you cut him open, he bleeds silver and blue.
Silver and blue. He loves the situation at MTSU, and he is undoubtedly their leader. I love watching him play, the experience that he has. 31st consecutive start leading this O.
During 9,000 passing yards, they let him air it out early and often. An empty set on a 1st and 10. Throwing on first down, wide open, the tight end Hunter Tipton. Takes it into the Delaware secondary for a first down. How do you come into a game, Rocky, when you haven't played in 14 days, a double bye to get going?
I think the first thing you do is try to go a little bit of tempo, which is what you're seeing at MTSU. This is interesting.
And not known as a tempo team. That bubble screen was well defended. Nate Evans, the Delaware corner, got a hand in.
Yeah, I always like tempo for an offense at times, just because there's less time to think about things. You get out there, you get lined up, you snap the ball, and you live with the result. So that's something that looks like they worked on during that double bye.
Yeah, one thing you worry about when you have those 2 weeks off, which is just very rare in college football, is rust, right? In the middle of the season to get 2 weeks without a game and then go on the road. A good run there on 2nd and down. Jaquale Middlebrook, redshirt sophomore running back. Let's take a look at Rocky's impact players tonight.
Yeah, we got a bunch of good ones here tonight. And for MTSU, Cam Lacey, this dude can absolutely roll down the field. Fast wide receiver, big playmaker, and Gavin Mole, a linebacker. Just a different kind of a throwback player there. Does a good job leading this Fighting Blue Hens defense.
You always pick a linebacker. 8 years of the NFL playing that position. But Mole is a good one, and his Delaware defense has a test here, trying to get MTSU off the field on a 3rd and 6. Vattiato throws, looking for Cox. He caught it. Did he get a foot down? The officials say yes. First down, Blue Raiders. And that's Najee Cox, the top target who delivers.
This is what a great job. I call this throwing a guy open, right? You throw the ball to the side of the receiver, let him adjust. That foot is in. Najee Cox, he's been playing through a foot injury most of the year, but looked good in that play.
Catch for a first down is under further review.
They are going to take another look at this. It was awfully close. You be the judge.
Ooh, I think the tip of that toe. Now the fact that the call on the field was a catch. No, that angle right there looks like that toe. Looks like it was out. I think the other angle is a little bit better to look at. Again, they always, if the call on the field, it's got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn it.
I mean, if he's a size 10 instead of 11 and a half, that's a catch.
Yeah, that angle right there to me is the best. His toe is out by about a ½ inch.
Yeah. And that would have been a big 3rd down conversion for an offense that was looking for an early rhythm. Talked about the double bye week, and Najee Cox, he's been trying to play through some injuries. The bye weeks back-to-back have helped him, but he's trying to get going. And
yeah, and with that time off, they've been practicing this first 15 plays a lot, and worked out good, except for we'll get the call here.
After review, the receiver's right toe was out of bounds prior to making the catch. The result is 4th down, Middle Tennessee.
So instead of a first down inside the 30, it's 4th and 6, and you have a decision to make here.
Yeah, I think the decision is certainly to punt this ball away. If you're down inside Delaware territory, maybe you think about it, but 4th and 6 right here, punt this ball away. It's unfortunate because Derek May, he talked about it this week to us. We want to get off to a fast start, get in the groove of this thing, but unfortunately, they're going to have to punt.
Ashton Logan, very talented punter, comes in from Oklahoma. Averages near 45 yards per punt.
I wouldn't do it here, but they had a couple of double bye week. Maybe work on some fake punts, some things they'll throw. I imagine we'll see some tonight, Jay, that's a little uncharacteristic since they've had some extra time to work on things.
Kyrie Duplessis waiting for it at his own 15-yard line. Logan sends Duplessis back to his 10, where he calls for a fair catch. And that means we get our first look at the Delaware offense led by Nick Minicucci, who began the season as the backup quarterback, thrust into action on the second series of the year and really hasn't looked back.
I think he's injected some just energy into this offense and frankly this entire team. Coach told us he plays like a linebacker. He's really high energy, hyped up kind of young man out there.
422 yards passing a week ago in the loss to Jack State.
Delaware's a team that likes to put the ball in the air. You'll see that throughout the course of this game.
Minicucci flips it. Going to some trickery on the first play. Instead of handing it off to Joe Silver, it was Jake Thaw for the flip.
And that's the kind of thing you get out of Minicucci, just ball player type stuff. You know, it's just a little pass out in front, just instead of throwing it, just flips it out in front.
It was effective, though, a gain of 7 on first down, sets up 2nd and 3. Minicucci looks to the air again, wide open. That's a Delaware first down. Bounced out of bounds just past the 30. Joe Silver, the senior running back. And he's a threat in the receiving game, 20th catch on the season.
Yeah, and that was a bust by MTSU's defense. There's got to be somebody in the flat out there. Instead, there's nobody. And credit Minicucci for finding the open guy.
Minicucci throwing for a 3rd straight play to start this drive. Rocky said it. They like to air it out early and often, and doing just that. That's Duplessis. He's one of your impact players tonight.
Yeah, he's a great player. One of the tops in the whole conference here. And then Parker Hughes. What do you know, Jay? Another linebacker I chose. He is talked about a lot, but he is as good as advertised out there for this defense.
You just picked him because he's a linebacker with red hair.
Got red hair. I mean, come on.
Running it for the first time tonight to no avail. That's Silver on the carry.
The main thing for Delaware tonight is they can't have the turnovers. Last game against Jack State, they had 2 big turnovers. That was really the course of that game. They had come into that game one of the teams with the least amount of turnovers, but that really caught up and bit them last night. It's a special point of emphasis here this week.
Now, Coach Carty, 21-0 when they do not turn the ball over and win that turnover margin. 3rd and 2. Minicucci finds an open receiver for a first down into MTSU territory. That's Joe Silver again, a threat out of the backfield. 3rd straight play where they've gone to Silver, and you can see why there.
Yeah, it's a good job getting Silver the ball, getting involved in this game. Last game was kind of tough for him, just 6 rushes for 2 yards, didn't really have much of an impact, so they're getting him involved early in this contest. I like it. It's a great idea.
Moving the chains on the opening drive, a 1st and 10. Minicucci in trouble, rolls right. Good check down to Sean Wilson, the sophomore. That's what Minicucci can do. He takes a play where there was nothing there and turns it into positive yards.
He does, and he's a guy, Jay, like out in the field, he scrambles to throw. He is looking to throw. And to me, the difference is when he gets down in the red zone, even more so down inside that 10-yard line, that's one where he'll scramble around to try to look and make a play with his legs.
And playing with some confidence, a career high 422 passing yards a week ago. He started this game 5 for 5 through the air on this opening drive. Second and 3. They hand it off. Silver trying to push that pile. Anthony Bynum was first there for the Blue Raiders, but couldn't contain him, and that's a Delaware first down. Hard running by Silver.
Fighting Blue Hens are rolling right now. Just the kind of start they wanted. bring the H-back across. Connor Widoff, crack back. And Joe Silver involved.
Rolling left, Mitakuchi on the run. It's completed. And Delaware really starting brightly. 6 for 6 through the air. Mitakuchi on this opening drive. That goes for a gain of 8.
There's been Joe Silver involved in the pass game, the run game. Now here the blocking. Watch him pick up the edge rusher. A great job allowing Nick Mitakuchi a clear picture to throw that ball.
Mitakuchi does such a good job spreading the ball around. We've seen that on this opening drive. That time to the top target, Duplessis. There's been 3 games this season where he has hit 10 or more receivers. 2nd and 2. Mitakuchi to the air again. It's caught for another Delaware first down. Went right back to Duplessis to move the chains again.
Mitakuchi is everything is advertised so far. He is carving up this defense, making good decisions. Looks like he's seeing the field really well right now. Not hesitating when he finds an open receiver.
Play action. Mitakuchi on the slant route. It's caught inside the 5. Touchdown, Delaware. Sean Wilson opens the scoring on a 22-yard strike, and Nick Mitakuchi, perfect through the air, 8 for 8, including the touchdown pass.
And I love the route here. It's man coverage, so you tell the wide receiver, stair step that thing, come down inside. Don't stay vertical on that corner route. Pulls away from man coverage in the end zone.
Rocky, you simply could not have had a better opening drive offensively if you're Nick Mitakuchi and this Blue Hens offense.
Now they're feeling the juice, Jay.
First game, Mitakuchi thrown in to the fire, and his coaches were saying he has responded brilliantly, playing the best football of his college career here in the middle of the season.
Preparing, one day your chance will come. That's all you can do as a player, is keep preparing. And one day when you get the opportunity, you seize it, and Mitakuchi has done just that.
How do you respond here if you're the MTSU offense, a team that's 1-5? If you're going to kickstart a second-half surge here, it starts tonight, coming off the double bye. You got the veteran quarterback, but you got to put points on the board.
I think one thing you got to do is you got to find Cam Lacey, number 13. He's your best wide receiver. He's 14 catches for 210 yards the last 2 games. He is a guy who is there's fast and there's fast. They got to find number 13.
Vadiato looking to throw it on first down. It's caught over the middle, and they went to Lacey right on cue, Rocky.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that's quick in space. He's got breakaway speed. I always say offense is not the most difficult thing in the world in theory. You find your best players and you get them the football in space.
Can be easier said than done at times. 2nd and 2 here. Play action. Vadiato, that ball batted down at the line. Blake Matthews, the senior outside linebacker, got a paw to it.
Did a good job of timing this. Look, he's getting ready to drop back out into that curl there. Instead, times the jump. This Delaware defense, they run a unique scheme. It's a 3-3-5, which you know I'm going to nerd out during the course of this game. I like talking about it, but it's an interesting scheme. There's some ways to attack it. It's just up to Vadiato and company to find out that weakness.
3rd and 2. Vadiato throws. It's caught for a Blue Raiders first down. Cameron Lacey. He's been the go-to guy, and he moves the chains there.
And look, good job of tempo here. They get a play, positive play, first down, and now we're back up to the line here.
A broken tackle in Middlebrook, all the way into Delaware territory. Big time run. KT Say, the Delaware safety, saved a touchdown there, a gain of 27 for Jakail Middlebrook.
And this is a good strategy for MTSU. They're typically not a tempo team, so Delaware all week is not really expecting that. We've seen that, though, early. You get a positive play, you get a first down, boom, get right up to that line, snap it before they can make all the checks and do all the things they got to do to move around and get set.
1st and 10 after the gain of 27. Play action. Vadiato looking to the end zone, and it fails. Incomplete. Just a little too much out in front of Zay Cox, who is streaking for the score.
I'll tell you one thing I think is going to be critical, because it's usually something that works against a 3-3-5 defense, Jay, is the quarterback run game. When they go and they just rush 3 and they drop 8 in the coverage and the lane opens up, Vadiato's got to see that during the course of this game and take off at the right time.
Play action again. Vadiato this time connects through the air. A.J. Jones' first catch of the night, and it's a Blue Raiders first down.
There it is. You can see the strategy. Get a positive play, boom, up to the line, snap the ball.
They go back to Middlebrook.
Ooh.
And he is punished. Big hit. After the gain of 27, Blue Hens did well defensively there.
I think that was my guy, Gavin Mall, getting in there. Boom.
Yes,
he
it
was.
was.
Number 35.
Coach has told us he's a chip-on-shoulder guy, under-recruited, wasn't given a full scholarship. They said he lets people know it. Certainly did on that
That's
hit.
right. You got a little bit of a screw loose too, I think, which I think every good linebacker has.
2nd and 7 after the hit by Mole. They go right back to the ground game, and once again bottled up. Middlebrook, no room to run. Blake Matthews gobbled him up that time.
And Middlebrook is a true weapon. I'd also, Jay, like to see them get him involved in the pass game. Get him the ball out of that backfield. A great wide receiver.
Third and 5 with Middle Tennessee knocking on the door of the red zone.
There's Lacey right there. That's the go-to guy.
Lacey in motion. 3rd and 5. Vadiato looking his way. Pass is caught. Another big-time 3rd down pickup. A.J. Jones the catch to move the chains as MTSU marches into the red zone.
Impressive job answering here by Vadiato. They bring Lacey in motion. He draws a lot of attention, gets some eyeballs on him, and A.J. Jones comes in right on that little curl route.
Good response after the Delaware touchdown. An MTSU offense who's been driving the ball, looking to punch it into the red zone where they have struggled a bit this season. Just 10 touchdowns on 18 trips. Middlebrook trying to bounce outside the numbers, and he's taken down. KT Say, the safety. Good read there.
Yeah, KT Say is one of the linchpins of this scheme that they run back there. He's the green dot guy. He's making the calls. He's the one making the majority adjustments in this scheme in that safety position.
Usually that's a linebacker who wears the green dot, but a safety for Delaware.
Yeah, Manny Rojas, the DC, just told us, hey, he just liked the communication was better between him and KT, so they gave him the dot.
Vadiato throws, finds the tight end, Tipton. He's upended short of the first down, but a 3rd and manageable here from just outside the 5-yard line.
And this is a good job, Jay, on this drive by Vadiato of just taking what the defense gives him. You know, he'll try a shot if it's there, but look, just little crossing routes, things in the flat, move that ball down the field.
Derek Mason's offense 2 for 2 on 3rd down on this drive. Can they convert again here on a 3rd and 2? 12th play of a long MTSU drive. Trying to cash in. Vadiato floats one to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown MTSU. Zay Cox won the jump ball, and the Blue Raiders respond on an impressive 12-play touchdown drive.
Cool as ice, man. Great job on that drive, moving the ball down the field. And when you got a wide receiver who's 6'3", 200, you put the ball up where only he can get it. and just say, go make a play, young man.
That was Cox on Cox. Najee Cox, the wide receiver, going against Kayshawn Cox Jr. in the end zone, and Najee beat him to the ball.
And you like seeing Najee Cox come down with that thing, as you described earlier, Jay. He's had a foot injury, he's been battling through, and a fantastic player. So I like to see him come out and have a big play.
You just can't say it enough. A massive response. A team that's 1-5 on the season, on the road. Delaware strikes first, and they punch right back on a 12-play touchdown drive. Extra point is good, so this game is tied at 7. Big time, man. Here he is, 7-0 for the first time in multiple decades, but a big test at LSU. Should be a fantastic Saturday slate, and we've got a good one, a touchdown apiece in the first quarter between Delaware and MTSU. Duplessis calls for the fair catch there. Blue Hens going with the blackout Wednesday uniforms, and they have fitted perfectly for the junior quarterback Nick Minicucci, coming from Don Bosco Prep, big-time high school program in New Jersey, and he was phenomenal on the first drive, a perfect 8 for 8, including a passing touchdown.
If they perform like this the rest of the game, they're going to be wearing those black uniforms every game from here on out. They were really impressive on that opening drive.
Yeah, first time since the 1950s when they first introduced those iconic winged helmets. And we've got a fumble. Ball still loose. MTSU has it. What a takeaway. Abdul Muhammad, the senior. Right place, right time. Byron Allison fumbled the football, and the Blue Raiders are in business. They'll take over inside the red zone.
What I say last drive, Jay, the number one thing they can't have is the turnovers. It destroyed them last game against Jack State. Now here we are, they're putting the ball on the ground. Just kind of a funky relationship between that pitch. He wasn't far enough away. It was just, didn't look good from the get-go.
Covered by the defense. The defense was also out of bounds at the 17-yard line. First down, Middle Tennessee.
So Middle Tennessee ball at the 17-yard line. When we spoke with Delaware head coach yesterday, Ryan Carty, he said the only key to the game, there was only one. Turnovers. And rightly so. When he's the head coach, they are 21-0 under Coach Carty when they win the turnover margin, 11-0 if they have no turnovers in a game.
And in that game last week against Jack State, they had the 2 big turnovers, but that led to 14 points. It's one thing to get the turnovers, another thing to score. If you're MTSU, a golden opportunity to capitalize right now. And you can see Ryan Carty looking at that computer screen right there. I think he's looking at the relationship between that quarterback and pitch man. Just did not have the right depth to it. It just looked all kinds of messed up.
So MTSU trying to cash in after the fumble. They pick up in the red zone. That's the freshman DJ Taylor trying to spin his way, churning those legs, pushing the pile, finally blown dead inside the 5-yard line, where it'll be first and goal after a hard run. First carry of the night for DJ Taylor.
I'll tell you what, Jay, MTSU right now is playing like a team that's 1-5 and has lost 3 straight and just wants the bad taste out of their mouth. They have come out of here tonight, and after, early on, they went 3 and out on their first drive, but then put together a touchdown drive and got some fight to them.
And now trying to make Delaware pay after the turnover. We've got a Wildcat situation. Jaquel Middlebrook, direct snap. Takes it himself, untouched, for an MTSU touchdown. They went with the Wildcat with Middlebrook, and it pays off. They cash in on the Delaware turnover, just 2 plays. The Blue Raiders take the lead on the road.
And we talked about the double bye, some extra time to work on some things, add a couple wrinkles, and here we go down inside the 10-yard line, going with the Wildcat formation, getting the ball to Middlebrook.
When does it get called at halftime?
every coach we talk to across all of college football emphasizes the turnover margin, but Ryan Carty here at Delaware does it the most. It is their pillar. 14 days off, a rare double bye week, and now you go on the road to a Delaware program that playing pretty well this season. In their first year, jumping up from FCS to FBS. Blue Hens with an opportunity to respond here. 1:58 left on this first quarter.
And if I'm Delaware right now, let's stop with some of the, the funky pitches and things like that. Let Nick Minicucci drop back, scan the field, find open guys, just like he did in the first drive. We don't have to get too, too crazy with this.
Yeah, Minicucci 8 for 8 on the first drive, and then a failed pitch fumble on the second drive. Hands it off. And bouncing outside is Silver. That's another thing. Joe Silver was so effective on that first touchdown drive for Delaware. They take him out, go to the backup, Byron Allison, and that's who fumbled on the pitch play.
Yeah, and Silver was involved in the run game, in the pass game. He was blocking well out of the backfield. Yeah, if I'm this team here, I want to keep the guys that are making hay for me, keep them out on the field.
Minicucci in trouble. Trying to escape out the back door, throws on the run, it's caught. That's what Minicucci could do on a broken play. He finds Jakari Kelly for a Delaware first down.
I told you he had a little Baker Mayfield to his game. I just looked around, that's not there. Break a tackle, go backwards, going away from his throwing arm, finding the pass. That's great stuff.
I mean, nobody's teaching that, and yet it works perfectly for Minicucci.
Any young quarterbacks at home, do not watch that. That's not how you do it, okay? But it works.
Minicucci dialing up a deep shot. Tons of contact, and no flag. Now, you thought there would have to be a flag with all the contact there, either one way or the other. Donovan Lewis tangled up with Jackson Lowe. The Boo Birds are out for the Blue Hens faithful.
Now the official's going to say their feet got tangled up. He's taking another look to see if there was some extra contact there. I don't know. It didn't look like there was much with that. I was trying to watch that left hand to see if it pulled anything down. Didn't look like it. And I think it's a good call because his eyes are back looking for the ball, so he's showing the official he's trying to make a play on the ball. That's why the flag didn't come.
I think Lewis felt contact and went down kind of easily.
That's a good no call.
Brandon Buckner chased down Minicucci there, loss of 1, and that'll set up 3rd and 11. You don't have to snap this ball, Rocky, because more time on the game clock than the first quarter clock here if you want to take this 3rd and 11 to the second.
Here's Duplessis right there, go-to guy.
Minicucci does take the snap. Final play of the first quarter. It's caught for a Delaware first down. Max Patterson, the transfer from Rutgers, on 3rd and 11 to finish the first.
Yeah, and I love this concept. They call it a sail concept, Jay. You're going to get 3 levels of receivers. He's just going to find the open guy and go ahead and pause it right there. So you got a guy deep. Got a guy deep right there, guy shallow, or in the middle, and the guy shallow. He's just going to pick the one who's open, and it's that middle route that comes wide open, and it's up to Minicucci to find him, and he does just that.
He's been excellent tonight. Only 1 incompletion that entire first quarter. And Delaware starts with the ball, trying to steal some of this momentum back after the Blue Raiders scored 14 points in just 61 seconds in the first quarter. Second and 8. Minicucci looking to throw, gets it out quickly. Pass is caught, and that'll set up a 3rd and short after the catch by Kelly.
Ball comes out of Minicucci's hand good. Finishes strong. You want to throw a ball that finishes quick to the wide receiver. And we're starting to get down in that area of the field where you know, Minicucci, if you don't like it, he'll tuck that thing and run it, try to pick up the first down.
Instead, hands it off. Silver trailing behind blockers, just trying to push that pile for 2 yards. He was driven back, but forward progress gives him just enough for the first down. Needed to, got to, and now the official signal to move the chains.
He didn't get any more than 2, that's for sure. I was right on the line.
Bynum and Woods trying to bring Silver back, but got just enough. 1st and 10. They go right back to Silver. Huge hole opens up. He's upended just shy of the sticks. Brendan Harris prevented the first down, a gain of 8.
Just great balance by this offense right now. Minicucci's finding open guys in the pass game, and look at that hole. My goodness.
And this is with a makeshift offensive line. Delaware had to move a ton of guys around because Anwar O'Neal, the starting left tackle, is out tonight. So shifted that right side of the line, and they look brilliant. You move the right tackle over to left tackle. You bring in Patrick Shupp as the right guard. You kick Anthony Conchesi out to right tackle, and somehow it's all working well.
So everything you just said there is not easy to pull off. You essentially got 3 guys moving positions. You like if somebody's hurt, you know, the perfect world would be you just replace 1 guy and not have to move around 2 others, but somehow they're making it work tonight.
Funky formation here on a Wednesday night.
Look at this.
You had 2 O-linemen kicked out at the top, only 3 on the line. Minicucci takes the snap, in trouble. That's what can happen if you only have 3 on the offensive line. Flag flies in. DeMonte Smith ripped Minicucci's helmet off. We told you earlier he's got a little Baker Mayfield in him. You could see that there, letting everybody know it. This is likely a face mask call on DeMonte Smith. It was a loss of 10 that'll likely be negated.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 92. The penalty may force half the distance to the goal line and an automatic first down.
So even though this works out for Delaware because of the penalty, I just don't know why teams do this with the 3 linemen and just trying to.
Yeah, I think protection of the quarterback should be priority 1, right? Especially you got a guy like Minicucci who's shown that he can find open guys if you give him a little bit of time. Yeah, I think it's one of those things that looks good when they draw it up on the board, looks good in practice, but you get out on the field with 3 defensive linemen that are screaming at you, doesn't work out. Just
very rarely works. Now it does work out because of the face mask penalty, sets Delaware up for a 1st and 10. Minicucci surveys, throws, back to the end zone. It's caught! Touchdown, Delaware! Sean Wilson, who's got both touchdowns tonight for the Blue Hens.
And Minicucci just throws an absolute dart here. As soon as he sees him, bang, rips it. Throws it up high where only Sean Wilson, he knows that guy can jump out of the stadium, puts it up high where only he can get it, touchdown. Beautiful.
Now Wilson has been the red zone threat tonight. He's got both touchdowns for Delaware. And a good response at the beginning of this second quarter to tie this game at 14, back and forth. These 2 offense with 2 touchdowns each. He's got both of the scores for the Blue Hens tonight. An errant kickoff will give favorable field position to MTSU looking to respond here.
I don't know if there's a penalty I hate more in football than kicking the ball out of bounds.
Why?
Because it's the most inexcusable penalty. Keep
Free
the
kick
ball
out
in
of
this
bounds.
field.
Kicking team. The ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, Middle Tennessee.
And it's a huge advantage for the receiving team. They get the ball down to 35. Start the drive off the right way.
Been a great quarterback battle tonight. Minicucci's got 2 passing touchdowns. Vattiato's got 1. 1st and 10 from the 35 after the penalty. Middlebrook in motion. Vattiato In trouble, rolls left, throws over the head of Middlebrook. It sets up 2nd and 10. Well defended by the Delaware defense.
It was well defended, but that's a veteran move right there by the quarterback, Vattiato. He's trying to make a play, he's scanning around, but you got to know when a play's done. And he rolls out, instead of trying to force a ball in somewhere, just throws it out of bounds, live to fight another day. See if they can get something going here on 2nd down.
Started games as a true freshman for the Blue Raiders. Now he's a 5th-year senior, went through a coaching staff getting fired and a new staff coming in. Said it earlier, he is an endangered species in college football. You don't look around the country and see a lot of quarterbacks that have stayed with a program for 5 years through a coaching change, and he wants to finish his career strongly. They got 6 games to turn this season around.
You don't see quarterbacks sticking around, period, let alone through a coaching change, you know. That's a position that is, those guys can move around a lot, but, you know, credit Vattiato for sticking to a place he loves, and he's doing a great job leading this team.
And 2 gamers, right? Vattiato sees what Minicucci just did with the touchdown to Sean Wilson. You know he wants to get out there and answer right back. 3rd and 6 here.
Delaware showing blitz.
They bring 5. Vattiato steps up, flips out of the sack, but still short of the sticks. A.J. Jones was there to get the pitch. Only a gain of 2. And MTSU forced to punt it away. Tyree Duplessis awaiting the Ashton Logan punt. Good response there from the Delaware defense. Get the ball back. 10 minutes remaining in this first half. Logan got a lot on that one. Duplessis lets it over his head into the end zone for a touchback. Tied at 14. Yeah, you don't want to break away from tradition totally, so you keep that winged look, which is, you know, you said it, just synonymous with Michigan and Delaware, and makes sense, right? Chrysler gets it going, and then one of his players takes over at Delaware and goes, hey, I really like playing in those maize and gold winged helmets. And Delaware, you think of Delaware, I think you think of the blue and yellow winged helmets and Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco, yeah, that's it. 2 very, very big parts of this program.
Right now, Nick Minicucci doing a nice job quarterbacking this Delaware offense. Only 1 incompletion tonight, 12 of 13 and 2 passing touchdowns. 2nd and 9, looking to the air here. Throws, that one got away from him. Looking for Nicholas LeBoy, transfer from Cornell, put too much on it.
This offense, Jay, is very much a vertical pass game offense. And, you know, Ryan Carty, I love, he told us yesterday that, you know, yeah, he wants balance, wants to run the ball, but if he had his choice, you know, he's a former quarterback. He wants to put that ball in the air and stretch that defense.
Yeah, we were just talking about Flacco. Ryan Carty was his backup quarterback when the 2 were in the same quarterback room here at Delaware. Now Carty, the head coach at his alma mater. Been good on 3rd down, 3 for 3 tonight. Can they keep it going? Minicucci right on the money. 1st down, Delaware. Perfectly thrown ball to Donovan Lewis on a gain of 18 to move the chains.
Well, we told you that Minicucci likes to spread this ball around. And look at the protection. I mean, there's no one within 4 feet of him. He's able to survey the field and throw a strike.
Minicucci in trouble, throws on the run right as he got hit in the backfield there, but he avoids the sack. DeMonte Smith was bearing down on him. Those 2 have history. On the previous drive, Smith got a ton of Minicucci's face mask ripped off the helmet.
And Minicucci told him about it. That's it. Yeah, DeMonte Smith, though, he's quite a player for MTSU. He's got a couple sacks, tackles for loss. He got an interception from that D-line position.
He played 8 years in the NFL. Who's the one quarterback that was constantly talking at the defense throughout the game?
I'll let you know here after this play.
It gives you some time to think
No,
about
I already
it.
know the answer.
Okay.
I just want to set this up. Phillip Rivers.
Okay.
God, he never shut up. Just talk.
That is tremendous.
But look, if
he can back it up.
He backed it up, exactly. You hated it because he was so dang good.
We've seen Minicucci be active tonight when it comes to letting the defense know it. He's got a 3rd and 4 here. 4 for 4 on 3rd down tonight, making 5 for 5. Minicucci's been money on 3rd down, picks out the tight end, Elijah Sessoms that time, to keep the drive alive again.
There's no more important down to be good when you're a quarterback in 3rd down. That's 5 for 5, as you just mentioned. And again, for a guy that started off this season not being the starter, was thrust in the role, he just gets better every week.
Yeah, coach is telling us his processing just much improved. Another quick decision there. Sean Wilson, who's got the 2 touchdowns tonight for Delaware, bounced out of bounds after a gain of 8. This Delaware offense in a really good rhythm.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And there is something, too, to having so many capable wide receivers. As a quarterback, yeah, do you want to look the way of Kyrie Duplessis a lot? Of course, but you also want to go through your progressions and have confidence that any one of those guys in that read can come up with the ball.
Minicucci flushed out to his right. Just throws that ball away. There's a flag down in the secondary. Let's get the call here.
Holding, defense, number 21. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, an automatic 1st down.
Abdul Muhammad called for the defensive hold there.
You see at the very, very top, it's kind of, and Brian Stewart, the defensive coordinator, told us this week with the scrambling around that Nick Minicucci does, he's telling those defensive backs, you got to plaster those wide receivers, which means you got to stick on them, but not too much to where you cause a penalty and toss them to the ground.
Minicucci rolling right again. Plants his feet. Delivers it short of Joe Silver. Zayon Simpson-Smith, the redshirt freshman out of Nashville, defensive tackle, getting in the face of Minicucci there. And one thing you could say about the front 7 of Middle Tennessee tonight is they're making Minicucci earn it. He's been scrambling for much of this first half. He's been effective doing so. Once again, rolling right. Throws on the run, delivers a perfect ball. Just threaded the needle right into Jake Thaw.
Yeah, he's been really good tonight rolling to his right. And when you roll out, you get a cleaner picture there. You can you're shutting off half the field, but you're able to clean up that picture and get away from that rush.
An injured Blue Raider over on the MTSU sideline. That's Kalen Woods, the safety. Woods was in on that catch by Thaw. Now, it's interesting, the officials just announced that the ruling on the field was incomplete. So even though it says 3rd and 2, the ball is placed where it would be 3rd and 10. And we just showed you a replay. That looked like a good catch.
Not sure what was going on. I'm not sure what the injury was either to Woods.
Well, with Woods being down, the officials huddled up and ruled incomplete, but I just don't know what they saw there. And you think the booth would have, the replay officials in the booth would have taken a look at this with Kalen Woods getting attended to. Good to see him walking over on the MTSU sidelines.
Just getting another look at it here. So Jake Thal.
Oh, it did. It bounced out and then bobbled right into his chest. Great catch there.
Yeah.
Well, great catch by the officials, not a great catch by Thaw, as another pass falls incomplete. It brings up 4th and 10.
Yeah, and MTSU there brought some pressure on Minatucci. He couldn't get that ball out. Parker Hughes, the linebacker we talked about before the game, being an impact player. And there's Brian Stewart, the defensive coordinator, with a great call there on 3rd down.
Yeah, college teammates with the head coach Derek Mason. They both went to Northern Arizona together, but this is their first time working together. And his defense held Delaware for now a 49-yard field goal attempt. This is Nate Reed. Drills it from 49. A season high for the senior Nate Reed to fire the Blue Hens back in front. Big time kick.
And that was a drive that started off great, then it kind of went the wrong way, but the field goal kicker doinks it in from 49. Those are the kind of bounces you need when you want to get back in this conference.
Reception. You played in Kansas City for one season.
It was 2 and 14 season.
Well, I wasn't going to mention that, Rock. But you played for the great Herm Edwards, who's now back working for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun times, great fan base out there in Kansas City.
You know, it's interesting, the coaches that bounce kind of from the sideline to the studio and back and forth. Derek Mason, MTSU's head coach, spent one season calling games for us at the SEC Network. Now back in year number 2 on the sidelines as head coach of the Blue Raiders. They have played very well in this first half, trailing by 3. What do you want to see on this drive from Nick Vattiato and the offense?
I think Vattiato is doing a good job all night tonight, being in command of this offense. He's confident, finding open guys.
TJ Taylor wrestled down. Interesting that they've gone to Taylor a few times tonight, the true freshman from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where MTSU is located. Only 4 carries on the entire season, and he has had 2 in this first half.
A guy I'd like him to find is Cam Lacey. I mean, he was involved early and then kind of was quiet. I don't see him out there at the moment.
Only 2 catches in this first half for Lacey. 2nd and 9. Jones in motion. Vattiato, high snap, bobbles the ball, picks it up. Does well to find an open target, but Hunter Tipton couldn't hang on, and that'll bring up 3rd and 9.
Good coverage there by the linebacker, Blake Matthews. And there's Cam Lacey. You know what the story is there. A big 3rd down here. You'd love to have your fastest, most explosive wide receiver out on that field. Now you do have Najee Cox, who had the touchdown earlier. He's down at the bottom of your screen. Right there. Some press coverage.
3rd and 9. Vattiato steps up. Under pressure. Going to try and pick it up with his feet, and he's ankle tackled. Gavin Mole, the star sophomore linebacker. Brings up 4th down. That would have been a first down had not for Mole's heroic effort here.
And you see Mole's in a spy technique. He is just coming up and watching Vattiato. Does a great job of tracking him, and you can see Vattiato in some serious pain as he landed on that right leg, kind of awkwardly.
Ankle tackled, and Vattiato, I don't think saw him coming.
No.
Forces MTSU to punt it away. Back-to-back possessions that have resulted in a punt. And a flag down, play clock at 0.
delay a game. Offense number 32, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Now it looks like Delaware is substituting in more of their punt block unit. So I would imagine we might see them come screaming off that line and try to come get this thing in this situation.
That was a hockey line change.
Yeah, I mean, they brought in about 6 or 7 new guys.
Logan gets it away cleanly. There's another flag down at the line of scrimmage. Duplessis calls for the fair catch, and let's hear what this penalty's all about. It looks like it's against the Blue Raiders here.
Illegal formation, kicking team, more than 4 players in the backfield at the snap. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
And this is where, if you're MTSU, you had most of the momentum in this first half, led 14-7. You've allowed the Delaware defense now to turn the momentum, force you to punt a couple of times here in the second quarter. Now the Blue Hens have scored 10 unanswered, and you went from punting it away at the 20-yard line to now being backed up where your punter's standing in the end zone.
And it looked like on that the last play there, it wasn't like they were going after. They were setting up where they wanted to find a good return situation. They already know they're going to get the ball in great field position.
Kyrie Duplessis steps up, calls for fair catch at the 45-yard line, and this is outstanding field position for the Delaware offense. MTSU crushed by the penalties ahead of the punt. Delaware leading Conference USA this season in a number of offensive categories, and if you've watched this first half, you can see why.
You see absolutely why, and a lot of it starts with their quarterback. Minakuchi has been everything advertised. He's, like we discussed, he's spreading the ball around.
Well, there's 2 in the backfield with Minakuchi. That's Ellison and Kelly. Kelly flies in motion, and Minakuchi finds him. Drilled only for a gain of 1, maybe 2. Anthony Bynum and Alex Mitchell there, not fooled by the trickery.
Yeah, it looked like the perfect time to throw a screen because MTSU brought some heat, but just good job rallying the ball by Bynum and Mitchell.
Second and 8. Delaware goes to the ground with Silver. Hard running. Check that, Ellison.
And Ellison, Jay, he's a little more, he's their bigger back. He goes about 200 pounds. Looks like they just wanted to just drive that thing right up the middle and give that ball to the bigger back.
A transfer from Tulsa, sophomore out of Dallas, Texas. Spelling Silver, who's been outstanding this season. 3rd and 3. Empty set. Minakuchi didn't get that ball away cleanly. Tipped at the line. And now a decision to make here. 4th and 3. You're in MTSU territory, but you play the field position game with under 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Last thing you want to do is turn it over on downs and give MTSU a short field.
I know we live in a day and age where there's, they're looking at the analytics and all that. I'd punt this ball away. Your defense has been fantastic. I'd punt this thing away rather than give the ball to MTSU.
Intentional grounding, offense number 4. The penalty is a loss of down at the spot of the foul, 4th down. The replay like that.
And it looks like they, if we can get a second look at it here, they brought a line stunt and the pressure was right in his face.
I thought the ball was tipped. No, just an errant throw.
Yeah.
And you watch where it landed and think it's got to be tipped.
Yeah, and
that one just got away from
came
Minicucci.
out of his hand funny. It's now definitely
yeah,
punting
you
the
have
ball.
to punt with it being 4th and 11 instead of 4th and 3. Yeah, the flags tonight on special teams in this second quarter have gotten out of hand.
Ball start. Offense, number 36, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Head coach Ryan Carty's been
Can't believe it. Yeah,
They're frowning for 3 minutes here, it feels like.
And we talked about the turnovers played large in their loss last week against Jackson State, but also the penalties. They had 10 penalties for 81 yards. They came into that game the least penalized team in Conference USA. Coach Carty knows they can't have them. Oh, here's another one.
False start. Offense, number 36, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Coach Carty says, what are we doing? And I think they're going to get 36 out of the game, and absolutely can't have that.
Oh, we just saw MTSU on the previous possession lose 10 yards before a punt, and now Delaware here has returned the favor. And the Blue Raiders, they've got all 3 timeouts. Plenty of time here to add points ahead of halftime.
Not a great punt.
Yeah, fair caught by Middlebrook, and MTSU will take over just past the 30-yard line. They've got all 3 timeouts, 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
The number one thing for MTSU is Cam Lacey healthy. He was not in on that drive early on, was having a big impact. We talk about his speed, and I do see him out on the field. He's in the slot up toward the top. I think you got to find a way to get him involved. Like you said, Jay, you got plenty of time, got 3 timeouts. There's no super rush here. You just need to get completions.
Battiato, play action, finds Lacey on 1st down. And he spun down right after the catch. Positive yardage on 1st down. They went to the go-to guy. Lacey, you were calling for him, Rocky, and he delivers.
Yeah, good job. 1st down, you just love going into 2nd down on a 2nd short. You pick up 6, facing a 2nd and 4, now you got options.
Battiato taking a shot deep, going to Lacey, who had a step. Pollard, the safety, was caught in coverage, and Battiato just missed him.
And I like that call there. I like the call. I like the concept. You try to get your fastest wide receiver coming out of the slot. He had a step on the DB, just an errant throw by Battiato. He's going to come out of the game.
MTSU, 3 of 6 on 3rd down in this first half. They need 4 yards to keep this drive alive. Battiato, Delaware only sends 3. Deflected ball, almost tipped into the path of A.J. Jones. Gavin Mole, the sophomore linebacker, got a piece of it, and that brings up 4th down.
And the problem is you're throwing this ball in the boundary. There's just too many black jerseys in the area. 3, 4 black jerseys trying to fit a ball into a small amount of space rather than try to attack the field where you can get a little more space, get a guy open, and where the quarterback can see and find an open wide receiver.
Feels like a big missed opportunity for MTSU. You get the positive yardage on 1st down, and now forced to punt after a 3 and out. You give the ball back to Delaware.
The previous play in consideration of a possible targeting is under further review.
All right, so the booth has initiated this review for targeting. Let's take a look together. So this is away from the ball, in front of where it was tipped. Khalil Ali, the junior safety, going on A.J. Jones.
And it does look like forcible contact in the head or neck area. There was a thrusting motion
And again, the booth is initiating this review. So there's something that they saw that they buzzed down and said, we want to take a closer look.
That's what we're looking at right there. The only thing is, like as he's leading with the shoulder, does it hit the shoulder pads first and then a glancing blow up to the helmet?
After review, the ruling on the field of no targeting is upheld.
And I like that call. It looked as he was kind of leading with that shoulder there. The initial contact was to the shoulder, then it went up toward the helmet. And I just don't, frankly, like kicking a player out of a game for that kind of hit.
Not only kicking a player out of a game, but it totally would have changed the complexion of this game. You go from MTSU punting to potentially getting a first down because of that targeting, and absolutely the right call. Duplessis calls for the fair catch, and now Delaware an opportunity to run a little 2-minute drill. They've got the 2-minute timeout and 3 timeouts. 2:13 remaining to add to their 3-point advantage.
Certainly plenty of time to work with here. 3 timeouts, 2-minute timeout. And Minicucci has been impressive tonight. First half already 170 yards. The first drive, you recall, Jay, was 8 for 8. Start this drive off with a positive play here.
Throwing on first down, Minicucci threw it a little behind his running back, Joe Silver. But this was an offensive explosion at the beginning of this first half, and now the defenses have grown into the game, made some adjustments, and have taken over on both sides.
And that's part of the game. As the game goes on, you look for the adjustments, things you can do better, and you're right, both these defenses have really settled in.
Minicucci to the air again, high throw, and it's hauled in well. Duplessis brings up 3rd and short as we go to the 2-minute timeout. So Delaware looking to add to this 3-point lead. Looking forward to it, Zubin, and we're having fun with some weekday CUSA. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. 3rd and 3 here. A free play. Middle Tennessee jumped. Minicucci tosses up a jump ball, and it's caught. What a catch on a free play. Minicucci just lofts a prayer, and his best wide receiver, Kyrie Duplessis, makes a great grab.
Such a smart play there. He sees that he pulled the defender off.
Offside, defense number 11. That penalty is declined. First down, Delaware.
And the acrobatics with the footwork, getting one down.
And now you're in business. You go from a 3rd and 3 to now a first down in MTSU territory.
A completed catch is under further review.
I don't know why the booth would need to look at this. That was a difficult call.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. First down, Delaware.
And ultimately, I think the booth says we didn't get a clear enough look to overturn that with indisputable evidence. It just never was there.
Exactly what we described. It's got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn call on the field, and a big call that goes in the favor of Delaware here.
A gain of 25, ball placed in MTSU territory for a 1st and 10. Blue Hens still have all 3 timeouts. Minicucci throws, hit as he released it, and another diving catch. It'll be again, did the foot get down for Jake Thaw? And the officials say no.
It was toward this near sideline. I thought that would have, clearly that right foot out. An incredible effort by Thaw. Minicucci tossed that ball up and let his wide receiver run underneath it. Just a little too close to the sideline.
Would have been a gain of 22, instead 2nd and 10.
And every part of the field is open right now for Delaware with 3 timeouts. You just got to get a positive play here.
Minakuchi looking for Silver out of the backfield. He makes the catch. We've seen some great grabs on this possession by Delaware.
Look at Delaware's going to go tempo here to try to get MTSU defensively on this big 3rd down out of kilter.
Silver keeps his footing. The 2nd effort still short of the sticks, though. Middle Tennessee bottled up Silver. And this will be 4th and short. And now Middle Tennessee uses a timeout ahead of this 4th down. Blue Raiders are thinking, let's preserve some clock in case we can get this stop. What it allows is Delaware to put together a play.
Yeah. I feel like if you're Delaware,
you're definitely going for it, right?
Home. Yeah, you're at home. You're in the black jerseys, man. I think you go for it here. And what I would do is I would give my quarterback, Nick Minakuchi, give him a 2-way go. Let him roll out. If there's something open in the flat, he can throw it. If it ain't there, let him use his legs. Minakuchi, a lot of times tonight, Jay, we've seen him rolling out to his right. Look at this shift.
Minakuchi keeps it himself, bulldozes for the 1st down. That is hard running by the junior quarterback from New Jersey. Put his shoulder down, the official signal, 1st down Delaware.
There was no doubt, and one of the biggest plays of this game so far, you want to put it in the hands of your warrior quarterback, Minakuchi.
Middle Tennessee has used another timeout here. And at this point, I understood it before the 4th down because you say our defense is going to get the stop. But why would you give Delaware more time here?
Because now Delaware still has all 3 timeouts. And now they're facing, they got a 1st down.
Delaware's going to receive the 2nd half kickoff, so the Blue Hens are looking for a double score here going into halftime and coming out of it. Yeah, I just don't think with a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10, and only 1:16 to go, you don't need to use a timeout there.
Yeah, that's a very curious call there by Derek Mason. Because again, now if you're Delaware, every part of the field's open. You can still throw it in the middle of the field if it's open because you got all those timeouts.
Play action. Minakuchi dials up a deep shot. Tons of contact and flags fly in. And Donovan Lewis was taken down to the turf by D.R.A. McDonald. An easy call for the officiating crew to make.
Delaware offense not afraid to put it in the air.
Defense, number 2, 15-yard penalty, and an automatic 1st down.
Yeah, and you can see it. He gets that left hand around the back of the jersey, pulls it down. The eyes never get back to the ball. That's an easy flag for the official to throw.
So 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line for Delaware. Direct snap to Silver running left. Going behind his blockers. Still on his feet inside the 5. Big time run by Joe Silver on a direct snap. Gain of 18.
Great job by Silver. And look at the paces. He just lets those blockers get out in front of him, doesn't outrun his blockers. And it pays off there with that patience with a big run. Getting that ball inside the 5-yard line. I mean, nothing worse than when a runner outruns his blockers. He waited just a little back, had some patience, so they can throw some good blocks.
First and goal, Delaware with all 3 timeouts. So you're not forced into a passing situation, although Minicucci tosses it for a Blue Hens touchdown. Kyrie Duplessis. Nine-play, 78-yard touchdown drive for Delaware. And the Blue Hens take all the momentum with 38 seconds remaining in this first half.
Great job there. I love the play call there, the direct snap to Joe Silver. Got the big chunk yardage. And then for the touchdown, you go to your go-to guy, Kyrie Duplessis, into the boundary, one-on-one situation. Just let number 19, looks like he's going to come across, and you see the defender bites on it, and he can't get back outside. This is a play we saw the Chiefs run in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Looks like they're going to bring that jet motion around. Instead, he stops, comes back to the boundary, and Minicucci puts the ball on the money.
So what do you do here if you're Middle Tennessee? Delaware is going to get the ball to start the second half. They've scored 17 unanswered. You only have 1 timeout in 38 seconds, so.
And they should have at least 2 timeouts, right? The one timeout that Derek Mason used there, didn't quite understand it. You know, if you have 38 seconds and 2 timeouts, but with only 1, it's just a different story.
Yeah, how aggressive can you afford to be here?
I think you try to be aggressive early, and if you get a nice chunk yardage play, you try to continue it on, but if not, try to bleed this thing out into halftime.
Delaware trailed at the beginning of this second quarter, 14-7. The Blue Hens have scored 17 unanswered in a second quarter that they have absolutely dominated. Now what can Nick Vattiato do with only 38 seconds and 1 timeout?
Najee Cox down here at the bottom of the screen. I think you kind of want to find a big chunk yardage play here to let you figure out what you want to do on this drive.
Delaware's thinking nothing behind them, so they allow Middlebrook to gain the first down.
Pick up 14 yards there, that'll work.
Clock stops as they move the chains. 31 seconds remaining. Vattiato spikes the football.
And frankly, on that play, I would have rather seen, as the clock stops, they're moving the chains, get up to the line and run a play instead of clocking it and losing a down here.
This is 2nd and 10 after the spiked ball. Jacob Hathaway, the MTSU kicker, has hit from 50. So if you can get in his range here and get some points on the board headed into halftime, it'd be a huge win.
Dropping off into zone coverage here.
Just the 1 timeout. Vattiato surveys, nobody open, decides to tuck and run. No, he flips it back after he'd gone 6 yards in front of the line of scrimmage. Middlebrook bounced out of bounds. He actually loses yardage on the pitch, but they get out of bounds, which stops the clock.
And what a heads-up play by Vattiato there. Knowing the situation, knowing that stopping the clock is more important than a few yards.
Third and 4, 19 seconds remaining, 1 timeout for Vattiato.
I think you got to find Cam Lacey right there.
13 and white, been electric tonight. Vattiato surveys, steps up, throws over the middle, and it falls incomplete. So a 4th and 4 now. 13 seconds remaining in this first half.
And now you're forced to punt here. No way you can go for it. Because in this situation, you'd be giving the ball back to Delaware with 3 timeouts. inside the 45-yard line. You just want to boom this ball away, try to pin Delaware back and go into halftime.
Delaware just left their defense out there, didn't have somebody back to field the punt. Doesn't matter too much because the Blue Hens are very content to take this 10-point lead into halftime. Again, a second quarter where they absolutely dominated, 17-0.
And the statement was the touchdown drive that we just saw here right toward the close of this first half here. A couple penalties helped out. Pass interference penalties helped them out, get them down inside. Then the direct snap to the running back.
And Delaware will start the second half with the football and a 10-point lead. Weekday CUSA Delaware touchdowns. The Blue Hens in their all-black uniforms tonight, going away from the blue and gold for the first time since the 1950s. A special Wednesday night game here at home. First year playing FBS football. Some weekday CUSA and a 10-point lead with the ball to start this second half. There's a flag down right at the kick. The penalties really piled up at the end of the first half. Very choppy final 4 minutes and change. You had multiple reviews, multiple penalties, which really takes the flow out for both of these teams. And then we start this second half with a whistle on the opening kickoff.
Yeah, there was no penalties in the first quarter of this game. It was absolutely rolling on, and then the second quarter had 8 penalties.
Offside, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
And again, you hate to harp on the officiating crew, but totally cool if there's offside, but it takes 90 seconds to get that called. Then we got a re-kick. Again, just takes the flow out of the game for both of these teams. We had lengthy reviews, and you know, if you're MTSU, you're on the road on a Wednesday night, you're trying to just get back in the rhythm that saw you take a 14-7 lead in this game. Now Delaware's scored 17 unanswered. They're about to get the ball back. You got a re-kick now from the 30. This is not a recipe to find a flow and come back and win this game on the road. So squib kick. That's the second time tonight we've seen a squib go out of bounds on a kickoff. The Delaware's going to get the ball at the 35-yard line.
Free kick out of bounds, kicking team. The ball be placed at the 40-yard line.
Right.
First down, Delaware.
They get the 40 because they lost the 5 yards on the penalty. Well, the good news for Delaware is their quarterback is in rhythm right now. 214 passing yards. Nick Minicucci, the junior at a Don Bosco Prep Power program in New Jersey, 3 passing touchdowns as well, Rocky.
Yeah, 249 total yards in that first half. They were certainly in the groove, looking to start this second half off the same way.
Blown up in the backfield that time. Minicucci, no room to run after he pulled it out. Loss of 2. Shakai Woods shot in there for the tackle for loss. And here's the funny thing about Delaware offensively. They're telling us yesterday, we got to establish the run. We want to be more balanced. And then the game's played, and they just let Minicucci do his thing. 3 passing touchdowns. He's now had 7 straight games with 200 yards passing or more.
Head coach Ryan Carter is a former quarterback. He went in doubt, put the ball down the field.
Right on cue, they go to the air. Pass is caught. Sean Wilson, who scored 2 touchdowns in that first half, wrapped up shy of the sticks, but it's a 3rd and short for Delaware.
It was a big first half for Sean Wilson. Thought he did a good job getting open. That's one of the most important things for a receiver. Quarterback won't throw the ball your way. As you create some separation, show that you're open, that ball will get to you.
3rd and 3. MTSU desperate for a stop. They hand it off to Silver, trying to find the edge. Bounced out of bounds, well short of the line to gain. Christopher Noble, the true freshman safety, excellent job making sure Silver never could turn that corner.
And I think you punt this ball away. It looks like they are going to do just that.
Good job by MTSU defensively. Overcome the favorable field position. Delaware starts at the 40, and Derek Mason's defense does exactly what they need. This is the first 3 and out for a Delaware offense that was rolling in that second quarter and outscored MTSU 17-0. So defense does their job for MTSU. Now can Nick Vattiato and the Blue Raiders offense get back to finding their flow offensively. Well, they led this game 14-7, but last few drives just stalled out.
Yeah, they have, and it's up to the veteran Vattiato here to get this offense back going. Like you said, I think you can take some momentum away from your defense, put in a terrible position to start this half. They get a 3 and out. Now it's up to Vattiato to turn this into something.
Starting from their own 10-yard line, they go to the ground. Big hole opens up. Jacale Middlebrook. Well, speaking with the Blue Raiders coaching staff, they said, we've got to get Middlebrook going. He's got to ignite this offense. He gains 10 and moves the chains on first down.
Yeah, over the last 3 games, Jay, he's averaging 97 rush yards per game. So absolutely critical to get him started, get him involved here in this second half.
Play action. Vattiato fires, pass is caught. That's Cameron Lacey. He falls forward for another Middle Tennessee first down. And with that throw, Vattiato now over 9,000 career passing yards in his 5 years at MTSU.
It's incredible, 9,000 pass yards.
He started games as a true freshman for the Blue Raiders. And now in his 5th season, coaches told us if you rip him open, you see blue and silver blood. You just don't see a ton of that in college football now. Transfer portal, NIL, everybody chasing the bag, and Vattiato's remained loyal to MTSU and wants to finish this career as strongly as possible. And that would start with a win on the road tonight.
And what can that do to the rest of your teammates, right? That see you, hey, I want to stay here because we think we're building something special, and that certainly goes a long way.
Pump and go, right on the money. Vattiato got the defense fooled and finds his tight end, Hunter Tipton.
Yeah, Vattiato is in a groove right now. Looks confident, seeing the field well. They pump the bubble screen, go the go route down the sideline.
Back to the ground game, well defended by Delaware. I wish more quarterbacks did that. I equate that to just playing in the backyard, right? Pump and go.
Pump, the shoulder fake, yeah. Get the defense to bite on it.
2nd and 10 after no gain. Blake Matthews and Jack Hall had the stop for Delaware. Right in midfield. They go up the middle. DJ Taylor, the true freshman from Murfreesboro, on the carry. So after things start getting in rhythm in the passing game for MTSU, back-to-back runs, 3rd and 7.
And that's what's going to really be the culprit here, is getting stuffed on first down, puts you behind the chains, try to run it again, and now we're facing a 3rd and 7.
Derek Mason's team just 3 of 8 on 3rd down tonight. They've missed their last 4.
Delaware looks like it's going to bring some pressure. Got 2 linebackers up in those A gaps. See if they drop out.
Vattiato gets it out quickly, finds the freshman DJ Taylor trying to tiptoe and not step out of bounds. He's short of the sticks, and now a decision to make on 4th and 4.
I almost sense that if you're MTSU, you started the game hot, but then you've been all kind of out of sorts here. Maybe this is your opportunity.
Offense stays on the field. Big play in this third quarter. MTSU trailing by 10, trying to keep the drive alive on a 4th and 4. Vattiato, pressure comes, he senses it, steps up, throws to Taylor. First down, MTSU. Nick Vattiato. What a play by the veteran quarterback.
Incredible play, a true run-pass option. He was tucking that ball all the way, and then just out of the corner of his eyes, as soon as the corner comes down, shoots that ball out. Incredible play there, getting that ball to DJ Taylor.
Big time conversion on the 4th down. Play action into the red zone. The tight end Tipton. It's another Blue Raiders first down. They have been very effective in the passing game on this drive.
And it's been the run-pass option, Jay, where they're riding that down. It's up the body out. He's reading that secondary, reading that overhang player. If he bites down, he throws the ball behind him like he did there.
Vattiato rolling right. Fires, it's tipped and intercepted. Delaware has it. KT Say got a foot in bounds off the tip drill. Khalil Ali was the one who tipped it up in the air for his teammates Say to grab. And we've seen both Vanderbilt and Mizzou, and that's going to be a heck of a battle in the trenches as there's a flag down at the start of the drive here. Flags continue to pile up in this weekday CUSA conference clash. Derek Mason wondering what that call is about, with his defense on the field trailing by 10 after the interception. MTSU quarterback Nick Vattiato, he was 6 for 6 on that drive, storming down the field, then a tipped ball that results in the interception inside the 10-yard line.
Which is why I feel like this is an opportunity.
Blocking below the waist, offense number 41. That penalty is declined, 2nd down.
Derek Mason ultimately decided to decline that penalty.
Okay, so take a look at it. Okay, yeah, he went low there outside the tackle box. That's a newer rule that came into college football a couple years ago.
So instead of a replay at 1st down from the 4-yard line, Derek Mason elects for 2nd and 11 from the 7. His team down 10 as we near midway through this third quarter. Blue Hens go back to the ground. Well defended by MTSU. Blue Raiders defense has definitely responded in this second half.
They have, but Jay, there's no more important time for them to respond right now, because again, I feel like Delaware, you're sensing some blood in the water. You punch this ball, you drive down the field and score. I think it's just a critical momentum changer here. So a big play here for this MTSU defense to try to force a punt.
Delaware been good on 3rd down tonight, 6 of 10. Empty set for Minicucci, rolling right. Trying to thread the needle, and well defended by MTSU. A big hit in the secondary, but a clean one. And the Blue Raiders force a punt. Jake Thaw and Abdul Muhammad were the 2 players that collided. Great defense.
Yeah, great defense.
It's unfortunate that Thaw gets sandwiched there. Yeah.
It was some friendly fire.
Officials timeout on the field for a defensive injury.
As Parker Hughes
Yeah, Abdul Muhammad and Parker Hughes were sandwiching thaw there.
Friendly fire. But a huge stop for MTSU defensively. That's 2 straight 3-and-outs for this Blue Raider defense. So the turnover does not cost them.
Brendan Locke punting out of his own end zone here. Ja'Kale Middlebrook waiting at midfield for it. Middlebrook lets this bounce. Now has to field it. All the way at the 35, turns upfield. He's got clear turf in front of him and takes it all the way past the 40. And this is excellent field position for an MTSU offense trailing by 10, but they're in. Oh, and this offense was rolling. He was 6 for 6 through the air. Looking for the touchdown here in the red zone, and just a tipped ball that results in an interception.
But the defense comes back, holds strong, goes 3-and-out. And so this is just an absolutely crucial time. As you see early on, this MTSU offense was on fire. They've stalled the last 5 drives. But with this field position, Jay, a 10-point game right here that your defense has held twice in a row, you've got to come away with a touchdown here.
It feels like they have to capitalize on the short field. The only other possession for MTSU that started in Delaware territory, they scored a touchdown on. Vadiato looking for it all, and it's incomplete.
And he had him. He's got a little too much air under this ball. I feel like if he would have drove this ball right into Najee Cox, would have had it just kind of hung up too far up in the air.
That's the true freshman, Jamarion Calabodi, in coverage on Cox. Right play, right receiver, just
right play.
Not
It's a post route. He's got perfect position on. Ball just hangs a little too long in the air, allows the DB to recover.
2nd and 10. They go to the ground with the true freshman DJ Taylor. Tough to take down, churning those legs for a gain of 7. 3rd and 3 upcoming.
He's going to follow up a first down incompletion to 7-yard gain.
And you have to feel like this is 4-down territory.
Absolutely.
For a team trailing by 10.
Absolutely.
Trying to cash in on a short field. MTSU, after they got outscored 17-0 in the second quarter, they have done well to grab the momentum. Now can they get points to follow in this 3rd quarter? Third and 3. Vadiato surveys, fires, another tipped ball, and it falls incomplete, but there's a flag down in the backfield. If Vadiato pops up, like that flag should be against Delaware, perhaps for roughing the passer. And that would award MTSU a free first down on what could have been 4th and 3.
And if that's the case, that's killer for Delaware. Your linebacker, Blake Matthews, makes a fantastic play.
Long discussion by the officials. This is what they're discussing. I'm sure what they are talking about was the
Personal
freshman
foul,
Trey Scott
roughing
pushed
the
in.
passer, defense. Penalty being forced half the distance to the goal line. An automatic first down.
That's against the true freshman Trey Scott out of Orlando, Florida, making his first career start tonight. And Rocky, you played defense 4 years at Notre Dame, 8 years in the NFL. If this was called against you, I don't think you'd be happy with it.
No, I think if he's coming into the quarterback, it looks like he's almost trying to come on and fall off to the side. But they throw the flag there. I just don't, I would have held on to that flag in that situation.
Big call to make, because instead of 4th and 3, it's 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Last time MTSU was in this spot, they had an untimely turnover. Can they capitalize? Handoff, Taylor right up the middle.
Let's look one more time at this penalty. And does he hit him? Yes, but Does it look like a personal foul? It looks like he almost gets pushed in the back a little bit by Habanowski, the right tackle. I would have kept that flag in my pocket, especially in a critical situation like that. Just, I don't see it. I don't.
Daddiato pulls it out, flings it to the tight end, Tipton. Stays on his feet, dives in. Touchdown, MTSU. The Blue Raiders convert on a short field in just 4 plays, and they are right back in it.
Just like that. Just good complementary football. 2 stops, 2 3-and-outs by your defense. Get a longer punt return. Helped out by the penalty there, and you punch it in for the touchdown.
Big sequence in this game for MTSU. Their defense really setting the tone, playing the field position game. They get a short field, they get helped with a penalty flag, and they turn it into 7 points. And Delaware had scored 17 unanswered to take a 24-14 lead at halftime, and MTSU has done well to battle back. This return blown dead at the 10-yard line for a fair catch. As we remind you, UFC 321 Saturday in Abu Dhabi. 2 title fights for the price of 1, and you can get it pay-per-view. Buy it at espnplus.com/PPV. Prelims begin at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. Main event, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. MTSU back within 3. Derek Mason's team on defense right now. Delaware in their Wednesday night blackout uniforms with a 3-point lead. Go to the ground with Joe Silver. And one thing that we have not seen in this 3rd quarter is quarterback Nick Minakuchi get into that rhythm like we saw in the first half, where he had 3 passing touchdowns, more than 200 yards through the air.
Yeah, I mean, that first half, he was just making it look easy out there. You got to give a lot of that credit to MTSU's defense.
Minakuchi throws over the middle, and it's dropped. And in this second half, Delaware, this is their 3rd possession. The previous 2 have resulted in 3-and-outs. They're in jeopardy of going 3-and-out for a 3rd time in this 3rd quarter, with a 3rd and 7 upcoming.
And it all comes down to just not being efficient, especially on 1st down, if you're Delaware. Most of the game, MTSU's defense has just rushed 4. Now they're going to shift 5 on the line of scrimmage. 6.
They send 6. Minakuchi rolls left, throws off his back foot. It bounces incomplete. And this Blue Raiders defense causing tons of trouble for Minakuchi and the Delaware offense. And a flag comes in way late. A scuffle well after the play had finished.
D.R.A. McDonald, the MTSU defender that may have gotten a critical penalty.
I mean, the last thing you can do if you're MTSU is give up a penalty here after you're on the verge of forcing them to punt for a 3rd straight possession here.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 21. That's the player's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. 15-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
Wow, so instead of Delaware having to punt this ball away.
If I'm Derek Mason, Muhammad is coming out of this game. This is absolutely inexcusable.
Right in the middle of your
He's
screen.
right in the middle of the field. As we go away there, I think he turned and said something, got up in his face. Look, Derek Mason does the right thing and pulls him out of there. You absolutely can't have that. What a critical mistake.
Delaware was about to suffer their 3rd 3-and-out, and instead it's a 1st and 10. Minakuchi delivers a great ball, and now the Blue Hens are in business. Donovan Lewis on a gain of 21.
Right on cue, and it's a sign of a good player And a good football team is when the other team gives you an extra chance, you take advantage of it. Dime by Minicucci.
Quick hitter again into the slot. It's caught by Kelly. And now just like that, Blue Hens in rhythm.
And it's just, you know, it's just one thing if the other team beats you, but when you beat yourself, when you're Abdul Muhammad and you're off the field, you're getting ready to have Delaware punt the game and you got to turn around and jaw to the guy. It's just totally inexcusable.
Second and 2. Silver trying to carve his way for the first down, and he does. Keeps the drive alive. Trying to punish MTSU after that costly and unnecessary penalty. First and 10 from the 25-yard line.
And I think most importantly for Delaware, Minicucci looks like he's back in that rhythm we saw more towards that first quarter.
Amazing how that can happen, you know?
Yeah.
Looks totally out of sorts, 3 and outs, and then a penalty has sparked Minicucci in this offense. And there's Muhammad who makes a tackle, and again,
he could have got another penalty there. Just why? Just play. Just play the game.
That was his first play back in.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, he makes the tackle, which is good, but then immediately you can see starts jawing at the offensive player.
I mean, if the other one got called a penalty, that very well could have been called a penalty as well.
Minicucci throws on 2nd and 9. It's caught. Donovan Lewis again. He's been so good on this drive, and it's 1st and goal.
Yari McDonald, the cornerback, is saying that he got pushed off on.
Certainly had plenty of space with McDonald trailing behind. Desperate for a whistle, did not get one. Minicucci pulls it, rolls right, floats it to the end zone. Touchdown, Delaware! Kyrie Duplessis delivers again, and the Blue Hens cash in after they were gifted an extra possession with a penalty ahead of a punt. They make MTSU pay, and with an extra point will restore a 10-point advantage.
You give a good player extra opportunities, they just take advantage. What they do, it's exactly what a good football team like Delaware does.
You just simply can't overemphasize what a swing of momentum that is. MTSU had dominated this third quarter. They're about to get the ball back on a 3rd straight 3 and out. Instead, a penalty well after the play.
Good job by Duplessis there going and getting that thing. I thought he might have overthrown it, but good job. Finds it up there, and Minicucci likes it. I'm not sure what that was, but looked happy.
Now Minicucci with 4 passing touchdowns tonight. And remember, this is a junior quarterback that did not win the job. Named the backup going into the first game of the season. Second series of that opening game. The starting quarterback goes down. Minicucci goes in. And the rest is history. He has been outstanding for Delaware.
Yeah, he's just a guy you want at quarterback who has the style of he's going to make something happen. You know, he scrambles around, he keeps plays alive. Wide receivers got to love him because he does so well biding time back there, allowing some extra seconds for those guys to get open.
And after MTSU had done so well to battle back into this game, you once again call on Nick Vattiato to go toe for toe with Minicucci. They've been going at it all night, and Minicucci gets his 4th passing touchdown, and Vattiato's time to try and answer once more.
And it's still just amazing that, you know, the penalty is what gave Minicucci and that offense new life, and they just absolutely took it and ran with it.
Yeah, prior to that unsportsmanlike penalty, Delaware ran 9 plays for only 13 yards. After the penalty, 6 plays, 49 yards, and the touchdown. Vadiato trying to escape the sack, can't do it. Wrestled down in the backfield. Merge Malumba, the senior linebacker, a loss of 6 on the sack.
What incredible strength by Malumba, and it was looked like a delayed sort of blitz, and he just came right through, and then the strength, one arm just like wrestle him down. Get the quarterback to the turf. We've talked a lot about Gavin Moll, the great linebacker for Delaware. Merge Malumba making some plays as well.
On 2nd and 16, a deep shot right in the hands of Cox, and he could not hang on. And that was the right read to your top target in one-on-one coverage.
And it looked like the quarterback, Calabouty, got a late arm up in there, but that's a ball that Najee Cox should have went up and gotten come down with and secured. You're 6'3", you're a big wide receiver, one of the top on your team. You got to come down with that ball in this critical situation. Delaware going to drop 8 here.
Vadiato takes the check down. Got back to the original line of scrimmage. Big hit, punishing on Walker after his first catch of the night. Myson Pollard laying the lumber there for Delaware.
Yeah, Pollard with a big stick. Perfectly legal. You're allowed to do that.
Pollard's 7th tackle tonight. That one by far the biggest. DePlacy back to receive this punt for Delaware as the Blue Hens have once again managed to swing the momentum in this matchup. A mishit on the punt, goes right out of bounds, and this will be outstanding field position. Worst punt of the night, and it comes at an inopportune time. Delaware's going to start this possession at the 50. Only a punt of 25 yards. Tomorrow night, NBA opening week rolls on, and we've got another doubleheader on ESPN. Thunder at Pacers and Nuggets at Warriors.
And just an opportunity for Delaware right now with the ball on the 50-yard line to just put the dagger in. Right here.
Would you take a shot like on this play, or you just think on this possession?
I think, look, you can, but I think you just put together a drive just the way you did last time. You know, create some route concepts, hit open guys.
Little trickery on the end around, bounced out of bounds to finish this 3rd quarter. Nick Tyree, his first carry of the game, a gain of 4. At Delaware Mark Day. How about that? And he might have been haunting MTSU in that 3rd quarter. Untimely interception and a penalty that's allowed Delaware to stay in control here. A risky throw there by Minicucci, but it pays off.
Tell you what, though, if you're MTSU, you know, and you get the penalty, you give up the touchdown, but it's still a 10-point ball game.
You're right in
it's
it.
3rd and 6. You're right in this thing. You absolutely have to get a stop here. I am doing something to affect Nick Minicucci, not allowing him to sit back in that pocket. I mean, this is a critical play for this defense.
Minicucci trying to keep the drive alive, and he does so, putting his body on the line, flying forward for the first down.
And what a smart move there by Minicucci to go forward with the shoulder instead of sliding. Because as soon as you slide, that's where you're down at, but a smart, heady play.
Takes a big hit by Christopher Noble, but it doesn't matter. Minicucci's got the first down. What a gutsy run.
And by the way, I think more quarterbacks should do that. You see Lamar Jackson, he rarely slides. He's always kind of going forward because, again, the rule is as soon as you start your slide, you're down. You usually wind up giving yourself up 3 yards short.
Handoff, no running room. This just feels like now or never for MTSU. Can they find a way to get a stop here?
Well, remember what Ryan Carty, the head coach of Delaware, told us for the game. What's this game come down to? Turnovers. You know, they had one early. If you're MTSU's defense, can you find a way to create a turnover? Bring some pressure, force a bad throw. That's what'll get you back in this game.
Play action, Mitakuchi throws it up there on a jump ball. Well defended.
Good coverage.
That's McDonald. Brings up 3rd and 10. McDonald, who just made the play, goes down. Now the ball was not spotted. Had the ball been spotted, new rule in college football this season, you can't go down. Whether it's a legitimate injury or not, if the ball is spotted, you can't go down. So very important that McDonald was down prior to that ball being spotted.
Correct.
It gives both teams an opportunity to discuss this 3rd and 10 upcoming, which just again, Rocky, feels like such a critical moment in this game, particularly for MTSU. If you are going to come back in this 4th quarter down 10, you have to get a stop on this 3rd down.
You have to get a stop, but I think if you're Delaware, you're thinking to yourself, this area of the field, if we can get 6 or 7 here and put ourselves in a position to go for it on a more manageable 4th down, you don't necessarily have to get all 10 of it right here. I mean, if you can get that ball to the 30-yard line, that would put yourself in a good position to be able to go for it on 4th down and not be in too much danger should you not get it.
Now, it is very difficult to beat Ryan Carty when Delaware scores 30 or more. That's their magic number in the Carty era, 22-0. And here they are at 31. So you're trying to do something that no other team in the 4 years under Coach Carty have been able to accomplish. And yet, if you get this 3rd down stop, you'll feel like you have a chance. What do you dial up if you are Ryan Carty and the Blue Hens offense here?
Well, I'm looking around for Kyrie Duplessis. I think he's...
Mitakuchi tried to check that down, would have been well short even if it was caught. Instead, it bounces off the hand of Connor Widoff. And your 4th and 10 kind of in no man's land. Too long for a field goal. Do you really want to punt this from your own 38?
And that's why in that situation, God, you sure would love to get 5 or 6 yards and make a more manageable 4th down here.
And you're against the wind, so you really can't attempt a field goal. So the offense is on the field. Play clock down to 8.
I mean, absolutely critical for MTSU's defense. You cannot give up a 4th down conversion here. It looks like they may just take this thing down.
You take the penalty back up 5 yards and allow your
more room
punter to try and pin MTSU deep.
So, I mean, look, this MTSU team won't go away here. Defense, again, coming up big.
And Derek Mason declines the penalty. Says, I don't want to give you your extra 5 yards of cushion here. I want you to punt this for a touchback. Jaquale Middlebrook, the return man, standing at his own 5-yard line. And it's Brendan Locke, fifth-year seniors, trying to pin the Blue Raiders deep in their own territory. Wind very much against him. It swirls and brings the ball down just around the 15-yard line. MTSU with championship game in 2007. Just a state-of-the-art facility. Really enjoyed checking out.
Great equipment in there, Sornex brand stuff. Love it.
And Delaware is trying to hang on to this 10-point lead. MTSU down 10 with the ball.
And as much as you feel like Delaware is taking control of this game, MTSU is very much in this. 10-point game, they have the ball.
They have moved the ball effectively in this second half. Got into the red zone and threw an interception. Walker comes up with that catch, and it's a first down for the Blue Raiders. Nick Vattiato, the fifth-year senior quarterback, he's looked very comfortable in this second half.
And this is where you love having a quarterback like Vattiato. Has so much experience. He's been in this situation before. He's not going to panic.
Play action. Quick hitter. Goes to A.J. Jones. Positive yardage. Another gain there of 5.
And he's saying to the cornerback, hey, look, Kayshawn Cox, you're going to give me 5 yards. We'll just take it. I'll be patient. We can do this all day.
You still have plenty of clock in this game. Vattiato decides to run it himself, goes down short of the line to gain. This will be 3rd and 2.
I think that was the right decision there. Again, with this defense and a lot of times dropping 7-8, you know, quarterback scrambling around can be a factor.
Well, the difference between Vattiato and Minicucci on the Delaware quarterback is Minicucci we saw just fly for that first down. Vattiato went down slowly. There's the first down. Middlebrook delivers. Jaquale Middlebrook has had some big-time runs. That one keeps the drive alive.
And it's really been on this same play as zone run here off to the offense's right side. They found some big holes there throughout this game.
Vattiato scrambling on first down. Flushed right. Just throws it out of bounds.
Good job on the back end there by Delaware. Scanning that field, there was nowhere to go with that football.
When you've been getting a good push against this 3-3-5 defense on first down, why wouldn't you stick with the ground game?
Yeah.
Just to get positive yardage, keep the ball moving in the right direction.
Especially with a back like Jaquale Middlebrook.
MTSU averaging more than 5 yards per carry. Go to the run game here with Middlebrook. And again, if that's first down instead of second down, you're in a totally different spot.
You're in business, yeah. That's certainly something, if they can keep this drive going, something to keep their eye on. Somebody goes down to the top here. Now,
it's the ultimate week-to-week lead.
Yep.
You can't lean on
one
what you did last
season
week.
every week. That's right.
Aaron Alexander in at center for a big 3rd and 5. With Rivera out, shaky snap. Vattiato has to throw on the run, and it's knocked away. Great coverage, Nate Evans to get a hand in there and make sure Carter couldn't come up with it.
And a great call by Manny Rojas, the Delaware defensive coordinator. They had 6 guys up on that line of scrimmage, dropped out and went to a drop 8 and only rushed 3. The 7th Delaware pass breakup on the night. That secondary is playing great.
4th and 5, MTSU deciding to leave their offense on the field.
Cam Lacey, he's a 3rd receiver from the top. Right there.
And with a backup center in, MTSU called for a false start. The left tackle, Jacob Otts, was moving.
Killer, just a killer.
False start. Offense, number 72 and number 1. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Yeah, clear as day right there.
Now, Fatiato was calling for it, and the center just didn't snap it.
Yeah.
And that is the backup center, Aaron Alexander, in for the injured Mateo Guevara.
Yeah, always hard for the backup center to come in, and you know the cadence is
quarter.
different, fourth quarter. Just brutal.
Good punt, though, with the wind behind. Too good as it falls into the end zone for a touchback. The Delaware, a 10-point lead. The Blue Hens faithful.
Decades and decades, and they're still at it, still firmly behind their Fighting Blue Hens.
But Donna told us that her fandom for Delaware goes back nearly 100 years to her father. He would take the ticket gate to the local bank he owned at Main Street here in Newark. All the way back in the 1930s, she said, a lot of quarters coming through the gate.
Yeah, think about the price of a ticket back then.
How about this? A little shakeup here. Delaware going to the backup quarterback, Braden Streeter, leading by 10. Nick Minicucci out of this game after 4 passing touchdowns and an outstanding night. You'd have to think this is injury related to go to Streeter with how well Minicucci had been playing tonight.
Getting the word that Minicucci just came out of the tent, the injury tent.
He's trying to find out when he can get back into this game.
Trying to find his helmet and get back in there.
Well, temporarily,
that's one
Braden
thing.
Streeter into the game out of Franklin, Tennessee. As Rocky mentioned, the sophomore. The team doctor talking to Minicucci.
He didn't have his helmet with him.
All right, so big opportunity for Streeter, seeing his first game action of the season. Keep it on the ground. Spinning forward, that extra effort. Every yard matters. Byron Allison falling forward for a gain of 4.
And if you're MTSU defensively, you feel like you can get something here. They got the team's backup quarterback in. I can't imagine they're going to take too many risks here. Just an opportunity to force a punt, get the ball back to your offense, and still three timeout. There's plenty of time in this game. 10-point ball game.
And with Minicucci out, you think Delaware's going to try and keep this clock moving, keep it on the ground. Got to load this box, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if you're MTSU, you know that same thing.
Hard running, punishing run. A gain of 3 hard-earned yards. Byard got in there to make the stop for MTSU, as long as Christopher Noble, the safety, as well. And Middle Tennessee took their first of 3 timeouts. You start preserving some of this clock early with 7:37 to go.
And I think also you come to the sideline here and you regroup a little bit and you figure out what's our best defensive call here, because you know I can't imagine this scenario of the field where Delaware is going to go for it on 4th down. You can get a stop here. You're going to likely force a punt. For Minicucci, I mean, he's moving around fine. Doesn't look like it's some sort of lower body, upper body injury. You know, you can't speculate, but
all 4 plays on this drive have been without the starting quarterback, Minicucci, as he watches on a 3rd and 3. Direct snap coming. We saw this earlier. Allison running hard, and the direct snap pays off.
Huge play for Delaware. They get the late shift. Go with the direct snap to Ellison. Great block there by Fitton Bros. Guard.
A massive first down pickup via the Wildcat with Ellison. As Delaware remains committed to just killing this clock. Derek Mason used that first timeout, now electing to keep 2 in his pocket. Delaware, they are not going to run a play until there's under 3 seconds on this play clock.
I mean, the situation in general, but added to the fact that you have your backup quarterback in there, yeah, they're going to just let this thing bleed all the way down as low as they can. Certainly get it under about 5 seconds here.
Right back to Ellison. He's tangled up at the line of scrimmage. Anthony Bynum made the stop for MTSU. And this is relatively easy to defend, right? When you know Delaware's just going to keep it on the ground and continue to kill this clock.
Yeah, but I think if you're Delaware right here, I think you go for it. I think you let Braden Streeter throw a pass.
Would be the first pass attempt of the season for the sophomore.
Got Duplessis at the top there.
Play action. Streeter looking to throw. Pass is caught. Short of the first down marker. The tight end Sessoms upended.
It was well defended by MTSU. He wanted Kyrie Duplessis on the corner route, but Brendan Harris, he had him covered up. He had to settle for Sessoms, and a good job. Throw it short, rally up. He's going to force a punt.
If Nick Minicucci is healthy and in this game, I think you consider going for the kill shot on 4th and 2.
I think you're right. I think you're right, but your backup quarterback, not going to happen.
But you play it safe with under 5 minutes to go. They did effectively kill about 4 minutes of time off the 4th quarter clock on that possession. And now trying to pin MTSU within their own 20, which they do so successfully. Blue Raiders still got a shot though. Yeah, points keeps the game alive. If you come up empty, it's all over. Empty set. Battiato throwing. It's caught on first down. Positive yardage to Cox. There needs to be a sense of urgency here.
Good drive starter, 5 yards. Get up to the line.
Battiato probably throwing the rest of this game. Scrambles, gets free, completes the pass to the Delaware secondary. That's a first down for the Blue Raiders to Middlebrook out of the backfield.
Really nice start to this drive. Battiato doing what he does so well, keeping this drive alive with his legs, scrambling around till a receiver gets open.
4 minutes remaining. And
I think they had trouble getting the chain set.
Whistle dead before the snap.
Yeah, the chains got tangled up.
And again, it just feels like a bad break for MTSU. Every time they feel like they're getting some momentum in this game, there's a long review or a penalty, and now a chain that breaks right as they were getting into their rhythm. Yeah. That's the type of season it's been for this Blue Raiders team, in jeopardy of falling to 1-6.
And I feel like this offense has been in great rhythm tonight when they've gone tempo. Well, now they absolutely have to go tempo here. We'll see how it looks.
Battiato slings it to Middlebrook. It was well read. Delaware not fooled, just swallowed up. Hassan Manning Jr. It was a loss of 5.
Huge, huge play. -5 on first down.
Battiato steps up, lost the football. Battiato thought he was looking to scramble.
Delaware says they have it.
And they do! Wow. That ball was out, and there were 3 MTSU players around it, and nobody jumped on it, and Keyshawn Hunter comes up with it. And what a disaster for MTSU. Vattiato caught between a run and a throw, loses the ball, and nobody jumps on the fumble.
So there's the ball. It's on the ground. I mean,
how does Hunter come up with it?
This patch. How in the world does that happen?
Wow.
Ellis Adams was right there. Looked like he could have just fallen on the ball, the right guard, and
what a way to lose a football game.
Wild.
And Delaware with an opportunity to kill the final 3 minutes of this clock.
I don't know what that is. The glasses, turnover glasses.
Now, if this result holds, which it likely will, Delaware will improve to 22-0 under Coach Carty when they win the turnover margin, and they did that on that last fumble recovery.
And remember, they had the early turnover, and that was a key to the game, and since then, none.
So Derek Mason electing to use his final 2 timeouts here ahead of the 2-minute timeout, and then he'll get the 2-minute timeout, which serves as a third opportunity to stop the clock. So their only path to a victory here is you hold Delaware for a field goal, you use all your timeouts, you get the ball back, score. Onside kick, a lot needs to break MTSU's way. And all Delaware needs to do is pick up 2 first downs. So if you're the Blue Hens, you don't need to score this football, you just need to kill this clock.
Yeah, kill this clock.
Delaware would improve to 2-2, and they need a lot to go right in front of them, but they're still alive.
Still alive. And it was so important for them to come out tonight and get a win after really a bad loss last week to Jack State.
So MTSU gets the stop, and Derek Mason uses that final timeout. And we just popped up Delaware about to improve to 4-3 if this result holds in the final 2:52 here. You know, they'd be 2 wins away from bowl eligibility, but because of this archaic rule that needs to be changed and should have been changed years ago, they are not bowl eligible because they are in their first year transitioning from FCS to FBS. Now, the archaic rule is there because they didn't want teams decades ago to jump up.
Yeah, when you have a good team, you have a good class in there to jump up and up the FBS, and then on a down year, you jump back down. But what's the price tag now,
Okay,
Jay?
so back when that rule was put in, the price tag was $5,000.
Nothing.
Now it is $5 million.
You mean to tell me a team is going to
spend $5 million to jump right back down? Guess what? They're not going to do
2
that.
years later, another $5 million ain't going to happen.
So let's change the rule.
Yes.
Now again, could be a moot point. Tipped ball. MTSU. They've got it. The Blue Raiders have life. And Muaz Bird is streaking down the sideline. Bird has the ball in Delaware territory. There are flags down, but MTSU was left for dead in this game. And barring these penalties going against the Blue Raiders, they are very much alive. What a swing. And if you're Delaware, why are you throwing that football?
Why are you throwing the ball right there? Especially you still have your backup quarterback in. You run some clock down.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block on the intercepting team, number 0. The penalty been forced half the distance to the goal. First down, Middle Tennessee.
Okay, so it is MTSU ball, but the response, the return will not stand because of the penalty. I didn't see it.
Didn't see the illegal block there. So you see it right here. There's the interception.
So instead of the ball being at the 45-yard line in Delaware territory, it's all the way back
You're not
at
allowed
the
to block that
11-yard
guy?
line.
Like, come on. You can't block him?
So again, you have life, but man, you lose 50 yards on the return there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you get that ball on Delaware's side of the 50 there, you're really in business, but nonetheless, still have life here, down 10.
No timeouts, though. You do have the 2-minute timeout to stop the clock, but you got to get yards in a hurry. Right on cue. Vadiato drops it right into the bucket of Miles Butler. A gain of 12 to ignite the drive.
Great job. You get out of bounds. You still have a 2-minute timeout coming. Get a first down or two.
Got to go quickly here. Vadiato slings it right into Butler. Back-to-back catches for him. Probably have time to run one more play here before the 2-minute timeout. Blue Raiders were out of this game, and then an interception out of nowhere has given Vadiato a chance here. Hard run for the first down, and that brings us to our 2-minute timeout. MTSU fighting back alive.
Talk of Cincinnati, my hometown where I live now.
Flacco fever, which began here 2 decades ago in Delaware, still going strong. And the Blue Hens trying to hold on to this 10-point lead. Not so fast, though. MTSU not going away. Big throw. Vadiato finds Cox. There's no timeouts. The clock will stop for the chains to move. Gain of 28.
You don't want to clock this thing. You need to run this play here. There you go.
Vadiato, quick decision maker, gets it out quickly. Miles Butler dragged down inbounds, so the clock continues to run as we tick near a minute 38. Now there's an injured Delaware player in the backfield, and that's going to give MTSU an opportunity to stop this clock, go over to the offensive huddle and get a couple more plays going. So as it stands, a minute 38 to go. Delaware leading by 10. Dominic Bragna, the junior.
And remember, for MTSU, you still got to score twice. So if you had to settle for a field goal here, you could do that, right? You don't need to go for it on 4th and long, any of that sort of thing. But you absolutely must have points here, and then you got to go through the onside kick and the whole deal. But still alive.
And all Delaware needed to do with MTSU out of timeouts was run this clock
the ball,
down,
pick
pick
the
up 2 first downs. You don't even need to kick a field goal. Just pick up 2 first downs. Game is over. It said they threw it. It was intercepted, and that has given MTSU a shot here. Trailing by 10. Vadiato, couple of pump fakes. Decides to then just throw it to stop the clock. Could not take a sack there. Smart play by the 5th-year senior who has spent his entire career in silver and blue. Third down's almost irrelevant because you know you're going for it on 4th. And MTSU, their one win this season came from very unlikely circumstances, much like they're in right now. They trailed 13-0 with 6:30 left. Right now they're down 10, no timeouts with a $1:33 to go. Vadiato throwing like you knew he would. That pass is knocked down. Nose caught. What a catch by Miles Butler. Just thread the needle, and that is a first down for MTSU. Butler has been quiet all night, has made some big catches in this 4th quarter.
I mean, just strong hands to come up with that and take the shot.
Vadiato spikes the ball with a fresh set of downs. And the body control from Butler to absorb that contact and hang on to the football. Absolutely incredible. So now 2nd and 10 after the spike on first down. take 2 shots here, I would think, Rocky, and then you kick the field goal
the field goal, yeah.
Live for the onside kick and give yourself another shot. Vattiato checks it down to Middlebrook. It's caught. First down inside the 10, down at the 5. There's a flag down in the secondary. That flag was thrown before Middlebrook even caught that football.
There is no foul on the play. First down, Middle.
All right, first and goal from the 5, MTSU.
And now knocking on the door. You got to get 6 here. You don't want to have to settle for 3. I mean, you get 6 here, get an onside kick. It's still enough time, even if you had to kick a long field goal.
Vattiato jump ball. And it sails a little in front of A.J. Jones. Nate Evans was in coverage.
Here we go. There he's coming on the field. Cam Lacey, number 13. Coming into the huddle. If you can find a way to isolate him, find him in man coverage, we'll see he's going to be out in this trips formation.
Yeah, all 3 targets to the left of Vattiato.
There's some sort of rub combination to get 13 free.
Vattiato looks that way, throws, it's caught! Touchdown MTSU! A.J. Jones. And with 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining, this will come down to an onside kick after the Blue Raiders looked left for dead.
And give a lot of credit to Nick Vattiato. The quarterback just never looked overwhelmed at all during that drive. Calm, cool, knew what he had to do, knew to throw the ball away and not take a sack. A couple plays ago, and manufactures a touchdown drive.
MTSU was out of timeouts. Delaware had the ball and an opportunity to kill the clock with 2 first downs. And instead of running the football, they go play action with the backup quarterback, Braden Streeter. It's deflected. And that interception has given MTSU a chance that led to this touchdown.
You don't throw the ball there, but if you are, like, throw it to the outside, like throwing a ball like over the middle of the field, like that. It gets tipped, things pop up in the air. You just don't do it. You don't do it, period. But
so now here we go with the game on the line on a Wednesday night in Conference USA. It comes down to an onside kick. The last recovered onside kick for the Blue Raiders program came in 2013. Can they get a ball to bounce their way on the road?
And Jay, this is one of these situations you usually practice it on, you know, practice before the game. You do it a couple times. You're not practicing onside kicks a ton during the week or even during the season. But when the situation calls for it, you need it.
Balin Woodman, the true freshman backup kicker, is out to be the man to try and get the onside kick, and Delaware decides to take a look at MTSU's formation and call a timeout.
They wanted to see how MTSU was going to line, call the timeout.
There's the starting quarterback for Delaware. Nick Minicucci threw for 4 passing touchdowns tonight, but was taken out of this game due to an upper body injury for the last 2 possessions. The backup Streeter came in, he threw that costly interception, which gave MTSU an opportunity to score that touchdown and now go for an onside kick.
So your front line there for Delaware, those guys are going right after trying to throw blocks and allow that back line to be able to receive the ball.
The true freshman, Balin Woodman, kicks it left. A good roll, but smothered by Delaware, and the Blue Hens will hang on. far from comfortable, but it counts all the same.
And there's Nick LeBoy, Delaware wide receiver, that comes up with it. And again, usually it's that front line. You want those guys throwing blocks, and the second line, they're the ones that recover the ball, but just a smart, heady play by LeBoy. And Ryan Carty, he knows it. Maybe a bad decision there at the end to throw that ball, but nevertheless gonna come up with a win.
A lot of relief to get this one to the finish line for Delaware in their first season, moving from FCS to FBS, bumping up. They have proven they belong. This will be their 4th win on the season. They moved to 2-2 in conference play. A hard-fought, impressive resilience. And you got to credit Middle Tennessee, they never quit.
They never quit. You know, that's what you want out of a team, and they're going to suffer their 4th straight loss, but we're in it all the way to the end.
Coming up on SportsCenter, lots to talk about with the NBA season in full swing. Can't believe the NBA's already tipped off, and NFL games and college football games to look forward to. We had a good one here weekday, CUSA, and it delivered. 3-point ball game, and the Blue Hens of Delaware hang on.